What if the most dangerous predator out there wasn't some monster hiding in the dark, but the charming, handsome guy living right next door? The name Ted Bundy is infamous, and for a really good reason. He wasn't just a killer, he was an absolute master of deception. So today, we're going to peel back that mask and get into the chilling reality of a true wolf in sheep's clothing.
And this, right here, this gets straight to the heart of the whole Bundy paradox. On one hand, you've got this perfect front, handsome, educated, charismatic. He was even a psychology student of all things. But then you look at the other side, and the reality is just horrifying. A manipulative, sadistic murderer. It's this chilling disconnect, this unbelievable split, that's the key to understanding how he got away with so much for so long right under everyone's noses.
So the big question is, right? How did he pull it off? How did he keep up this perfect mask? Well, that's what we're digging into next. This wasn't just a charming personality, you see. It was a carefully crafted weapon. He was, in every sense of the word, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Okay, this is where it gets genuinely terrifying. Bundy didn't just have these traits, he weaponized them. I mean, think about it. As a psychology student, he understood how people worked, what buttons to push. His good looks and the fact that he was so well-spoken made him seem completely harmless, even trustworthy. He was like a social chameleon, blending in perfectly and disarming his victims way before they ever felt a hint of danger. These weren't just personality quirks, these were the tools of his trade.
And this quote, man, it just nails it. The charm wasn't real, it was a performance. The intelligence wasn't used for anything good, it was used to plan, to carry out, and to cover up these horrible crimes. The mask he wore wasn't just convincing, it was pretty much perfect.
All right, so with his mask of sanity perfected, Bundy wasn't just a killer, he was a hunter. He developed this chilling, systematic approach, like a predator's playbook, designed to be brutally effective while leaving almost no trace behind.
And here it is, his chillingly effective three-step playbook. First up, the ruse. He would play on people's kindness, right? Faking an injury, like an arm in a sling, asking for help with some books. Or he'd impersonate a police officer, using that authority to create this totally false sense of security. Then came the lure. Once he had their trust, he'd get them to a secluded spot, away from anyone who might see. And finally, the ultimate act of concealment. By leaving his victims in remote, wooded areas, he made it nearly impossible for police to connect the dots, let alone figure out who was behind it all.
But here's the thing. Even the most cunning predators eventually make a mistake. After one last bloody rampage in Florida, Bundy's luck it ran out. He was captured for the final time, and the entire nation just watched in horror as the man behind the mask was finally brought to trial.
Just look at this timeline. It really shows you the sheer scale of his terror. It all kicks off in 1974, with murders stretching across multiple states. And get this, he was so brazen, so manipulative, that in 1977 he actually escaped from custody, not once, but twice. But it was that final, savage attack at the Chi Omega sorority in Florida in '78 that sealed his fate. In 1989, Ted Bundy was executed, and one of the most horrifying crime sprees in American history finally came to an end.
And the trial, oh man. The trial was a total media circus, a spectacle of pure, unfiltered arrogance. Bundy, the former law student, decides he's going to act as his own lawyer. The entire country was glued to their TVs, watching in just total disbelief. As the man accused of these horrific crimes cross-examined witnesses, argued with the judge, he put on this chilling performance for the cameras. It was a terrifying look directly into the mind of a killer, a man who had absolutely no empathy or remorse.
Watching Bundy in that courtroom, you can't help but ask yourself, what kind of mind is even capable of this? How can someone do such monstrous things and then just go on with their day like nothing happened? Well, the answer lies in one single, chilling diagnosis: psychopathy.
And this is the key to all of it. See, psychopathy isn't about being crazy in the way we usually think about it. It's a personality disorder that's defined by a total void where things like empathy and a conscience are supposed to be. For a psychopath, other people are just objects, things to be used and manipulated for their own gratification.
This just perfectly sums up the psychopathic mind. On the surface, you've got this charming, normal life, going on a date, having a conversation, studying for class. But underneath, in these dark corners of the mind, that's where the cold, calculating killer lives. That is the power of compartmentalization. For Bundy, there was no internal conflict, no guilt. He could flip between these two realities as easily as you or I would flip a light switch.
Ted Bundy died decades ago, but his shadow still looms large. His crimes didn't just leave behind a trail of shattered lives. They forced a major reckoning in law enforcement and forever changed how we understand the criminal mind. His legacy? Well, it's a dark and chilling one.
So what's the lasting impact here? Why do we still talk about him? The Bundy case was a brutal wake-up call for law enforcement. It forced them to come up with new techniques, like criminal profiling, to hunt down killers who didn't fit that traditional mold. It pushed forensic science to new levels. And for criminologists, Bundy became the absolute textbook case study for psychopathy. But maybe his most important legacy is this. He taught all of us that the most dangerous monsters are often the ones who look just like us.
Which leaves us with a final, really unsettling thought. Bundy proved that appearances can be fatally deceiving, and it makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other wolves in sheep's clothing are out there, walking among us, perfectly hidden in plain sight?